to learn 1000 Chinese characters in a week. Why? Well, because I wondered how many characters can I actually learn, and then I mentioned to my parents, hey, I think I could learn 1000 characters in a week if I wanted. My parents of course said, no way, I don't think you can do it. And then I had to prove myself. So that's how I decided to learn 1000 characters in a week, and here is why you should as well. So, the first reason has everything to do with short-term memory. Often short-term memory will be associated with kind of bad things, like things that are only in your short-term memory you won't remember on the exam. But this ignores the fact that if you have very many characters in your short-term memory for a very short while, then in that time, every time you encounter such a character, it is an amazing experience, because suddenly, just for a little while, you can read a whole lot more than you could before. And if it's more fun to read things and see things and encounter things in real life, then you will do it more. And the more you encounter these characters, the more will actually be in your long-term memory after a while. So, lots of short-term also means more in the long term. When you learn such a huge amount of characters within a very short time of each other, you will automatically gain better insight into these characters. You, or at least I, better became able to guess which part of the character is the radical, since I learned them sorted by radical. I also am now better able to recognize which part of the character is not a radical but represents the sound, or, well, at least sometimes. Take, for example, this character. It means fang to butt of an animal, such as a bull or something. On itself, this character is really rare. It has the very low frequency of below 1000, which means you will almost never encounter it in real life. However, I have seen it very often in other characters as part of it, and I noticed that they are always pronounced something like fong, with only a different tone. This is something that I wouldn't have noticed if I was just learning these characters months apart. I would probably just have memorized them all separately. So, you gain better insight in a character's pronunciation as well. A lot of people will argue that learning 1000 characters so shortly after each other is not very productive at all. However, there is something more productive to be gained from it, and that is in reading. Because from learning 1000 characters, I also learned how to memorize things quicker. So, when I'm reading a Chinese page, I will better be able to, for a short while, memorize 10 to 20 characters that I need to understand a paragraph. In that way, I don't have to research them 3 or 4 times and agonize about what this paragraph actually means. Also, I became quicker in writing characters, which means I can actually look them up in the dictionary much quicker. Doing something, anything at all, also gives your life meaning. This may seem a bit cringy, a bit general, a bit like something a philosopher would say, perhaps, but this really is true. Especially when you're a student, you often have very long breaks, and these breaks are, except maybe working part-time, spent lazing about, watching Netflix and stuff. But if if you do something like this, you may be tired, you may be wanting to give up, but if you've done it, then actually that feeling of accomplishment is so much better than the just lazy and tired feeling you will get when you're just sitting behind your computer all day, which I guess I did as well with learning 1000 characters since they were on my computer, but you get my meaning. The last reason might be a very banal one, but it is a fun one nonetheless. You can get bragging rights to all those people who said you couldn't do it before when you told them. Well, now you can tell them I did it and feel very satisfied about it. Of course, don't overdo it, but a little bit can't hurt now, can it? If you want to know more about how I memorized 1000 characters in a week or how this week actually went, please read my blog, the link is in the description. And yeah, I wish you all